Washington State Republican Party Chair Jim Walsh, also representative for the 19th District, joins us live now. Representative Walsh, what was your reaction to the president's address?
Oh, it was a great speech. I mean, there were so many high points. Some of the cutaways to people who were in the room listening and watching, while they can be kind of ordinary when other politicians do it, they were phenomenal tonight. The president mentioned a young boy who has always dreamed of being in law enforcement, and the head of the Secret Service gave him an honorary Secret Service badge, and the boy spontaneously hugged the Secret Service guy. It was a genuine moment, and I think a great counterpoint to some of this more theatrical divisiveness that was going on, which frankly at this point just rings as kind of fake and just arbitrary.
Speaking of divisiveness, you'll have to acknowledge that a lot of people here in Washington state are perhaps concerned about Trump's policies. What is your message tonight to those people?
Well, the speech tonight was basically a hit parade of the good things that the president has done in the 40-plus days since he was inaugurated for his second term. And this focuses a lot on fighting crime and making neighborhoods safer, and that's a great thing. And how that priority is connected with immigration enforcement, stronger borders, no more open border policy, and also channeling our resources to fighting fentanyl, the scourge and the epidemic that it's been. This hard drug has just created havoc here in Washington and all around the country. So those are good points in what he's doing. He talked a lot too about the tariffs and how he plans to use tariffs as a tool in negotiating both trade agreements and other geopolitical issues that will help raise America's strength internationally. And he's been effective so far at doing that. You always have to be careful with those tariffs. You want to keep them narrowly focused and surgical. And I think so far, anyway, he's done that. Now, he acknowledged that the markets, the capital markets, have been a little choppy lately. But he believes, and I think many of us believe, that that's a short-term reaction to a mid and long-term benefit of much better policy in this country than we've had under the previous administration.
So on the tariffs, you've had them in place now for about 24 hours. There's already talk about retaliatory tariffs, reciprocal tariffs on both sides, Canada and Mexico specifically. What would you say to those people who maybe are a little wary about the economic impact on their wallets and also just ahead looking to the future for Washington State?
Well, I mean, the reciprocity is on our side. I mean, we're trying to adjust these tariffs to be very narrowly focused and responsive to the tariffs that other countries have put on our industries and our goods and our services. So for too long, we've been sort of passive and allowing other countries to tariff our goods and services. And I think what the president is trying to do, and many people support him in this, is try to find a very carefully calibrated response that is appropriate and hopefully in the end flattens out this system of tariffs that we've been suffering from for several years and for even longer in some cases.
Before we let you go tonight, this second term is relatively new, 43 days, as we've mentioned. How do you think this second Trump presidency is helping or perhaps hurting your party here specifically in Washington State?
Well, I mean, I think it's helping. There's no doubt that Trump is a New York guy. He rubs some people the wrong way, but he has been so much different in just the short number of weeks that he's been in office this time than he was the first time. Much more decisive, much more proactive, using executive orders and using his work with the Congress back in D.C. very much more effectively, putting forward policy that is immediately impactful on on how our schools are operating. And here in Washington, our schools have been in terrible shape for a number of years. I think they'll help our performance standards get better here in our K-12 schools. He's been defending girls' sports, which is an issue that we've seen of growing importance to people here in Washington, and of course defending parents' rights, which has been another growing issue here in our part of the world. So on those issues, he's been good. On immigration enforcement and returning law and order, he's been very strong just in 40-plus days. And on the economic front, certainly his approach to deregulating and getting rid of bureaucratic red tape is always welcome. But I think that the invigoration you're going to see and the improvement in government efficiency and the improvement in how taxpayer dollars are used, it's already catching fire and really receiving bipartisan support. It's a little under the radar here in Washington, in our Washington, but I think you're seeing very strong support for a DOGE, for the Department of Government Efficiency. We need more of that here in our Washington.
Well, Washington State Republican Party Chair Jim Walsh, we thank you for being with us tonight and giving your insight. We know it's a little later than we first anticipated. It was a pretty long speech, so we thank you for sticking around.
Good to talk to you guys, and I'm impressed with the speech. It was a good night, I think, for everyone.
Thank you so much.